So, long time no film. Just like the intro to every vlog now, my life. But actually, I think things will be improving. Basically, the last time I filmed anything or did much on YouTube, as of me filming this, not me posting this, obviously, was in January, and it's now early March. And so far, I've edited like 4 videos. I've edited 4 videos, posted 1, scheduled 2. I've responded to comments. I've watched a couple of other booktubers videos. Like, it's actually feeling like I'm for real gonna come back and be consistent this time instead of just flaking off. And I got a new laptop like a week ago. Which is the reason, I think, probably. I don't dread opening my laptop and having to use it. Like, editing is still tedious, obviously. Editing videos is always going to be tedious. But it doesn't, like, take 5 minutes to turn on my laptop anymore. Like, the playback of me trying to edit is not super choppy anymore. I don't just have to sit there waiting for web pages to load. Like, it makes a difference. Like, it doesn't make me unhappy to have to use my computer anymore. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna have to use it later to do something. It's like, okay, I can turn it on and open a web page and get to that page within 20 seconds, which, like, not possible with my old computer. Like, if I just open my editing program, it opens in like 4 seconds. Like, it would take minutes on my other laptop, and I'm not even exaggerating. And if I tried to have the editing program running while doing anything else, not happening. So it's a game changer. I'm really excited. This laptop's a pretty big upgrade. It's not like an amazing computer or anything, but like my last computer was trash and this one is decent. So like, huge step up, and I'm excited. I'm gonna aim for 2 videos a week for a while because I have a bunch of old videos that I never edited, never posted from like years ago, like mostly book reviews. I was like, I filmed them. These were my thoughts on the book. I might as well just edit and post them. So I'm gonna try to do those on Sundays, and then Thursdays do whatever new videos I'm filming, which is probably gonna be like wrap-ups and vlogs for now because I'm still not quite up to like filming book reviews. That's a little bit more energy than I have at the moment, but I'm excited. Reading, I'm currently reading, today's March 8th, I believe, just for context for this video. I'm currently reading Ordinary Men by, I can't read that backwards, Christopher R. Browning. This is a nonfiction book about the Reserve Police Battalion 101. They're basically a group of, they weren't technically military. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. They were basically like quasi-military, like mostly like middle-aged men who were too old to actually join the military in Nazi Germany, joined like the reserve police force, and they wound up getting deployed, I don't know if deployed's the right word, to Poland, to sort of run things in Poland, because Germany didn't have enough troops in their military to actually occupy all the countries they were invading. So this is specifically about this reserve police battalion who wound up in Poland and wound up committing a lot of the mass murder of Jews that happened in Poland, and also like transporting them to the concentration camps. That was like this group of people, and this book is sort of like a deep dive into them and who they were and what they did. And I'm not very far in. I'm kind of struggling with it. It's a little bit dry, and I don't know how much of it's like it's actually really dry versus I'm just having trouble concentrating and like not absorbing the information as well as I should. But I definitely need to like get a little further in before I have any real thoughts on it, because yeah, I don't know. I'm excited though, because like it's kind of like the information about this, because they killed so many people who like were involved, the information comes mainly from the men in like court hearings and stuff, like the men who were actually part of this force. And like the author discusses it, and it's like I know this comes with some sort of issues and everything, and like how reliable is like a group of people who committed mass murder talking about themselves committing mass murder, you know. But it's an interesting, I don't want to say perspective's not the right word, but usually I feel like a lot of the information comes from the victims, and in this, because the information's coming from the perpetrators, it is different. I don't know, it's interesting. I'm really looking forward to like getting more into it and hopefully getting a little more invested in it. I literally just sat down to film an update for this vlog, and like 6 seconds into filming I get a call from work. Like, this always happens. Like, it's what I expect now. Just start filming, wait for them to call, and then I can actually like sit down and talk about something. I'm taking a break from Ordinary Men just because I was struggling with that a lot. And I don't know if it's the book or just my mood, because like my mood has been kind of But so I just figured I'd take a break from that and move on to something different for a minute and then go back to it. Like, not even like a soft DNF, like I'm not putting it away. I'm just like, let's take a quick break and get into something that maybe I can read and get into the flow of something, and then maybe go back to it and I'll feel a little better. But we'll see. So I started reading The Ice Princess by Camilla Lackberg. This is about a girl who goes back to her town and finds her childhood best friend's body. She allegedly committed suicide, but it's a thriller, so like she probably didn't commit suicide. I'm not that far in. I feel like I'm further than this, and not great so far. Lots of discussion on like the inner strength that it takes to commit suicide, and whether or not the character who allegedly did had that inner strength. So, questionable at best. I'm not loving it. It's a translation, so it's like, I don't want to blame the author too much because maybe it was poorly translated, but it's also like, that's a big thing to poorly translate. I don't know, but I'm not loving it, but I'm hoping the story will get a little bit better as we get into more of like the mystery stuff. But we'll see. We shall see. I'm trying to think of what else I had planned for today. I want to work on my Goodreads reviews some because I'm falling behind on those again. And I want to film a real like sit down video, not like a quick little vloggy video, but we'll see if I have the energy for that. We'll see. So fun times all around. I'm still not reading for some reason, which is honestly beginning to piss me off a little bit. I've been working on The Ice Princess by Camilla Lackberg, which I think I mentioned, but to be honest, it's been so long since I filmed the vlog update, which I say every time, so I should just stop saying it, because y'all expect there to be like 2 weeks between each one now. Still working on it. I have made good progress. I've been reading on my breaks at work. I get 2 15s a day, allegedly. So I've been reading mostly in 10-minute spurts once or twice a day. Every day I have a work. And then every day I'm like, okay, I don't have much left. I could very easily just go home at night and just like get through the rest in an hour. Because it's not very good, but it goes very fast. And I don't really care all that much because it's, again, not very good. And I have some issues with the author. One of the characters in this book may or may not have committed suicide, so there is discussion on suicide, and it's very, very poorly done. Not a fan. Also, and that she has this weird bit about, like, the main character is a writer. She writes biographies, and she has this whole bit where she's like, well, I'm not a real author. Real authors write from the heart. And I was like, what? Like, it just felt very judgy from the author, not the character, which, like, it's like, no, that's not lovely. And there's just, I don't know, there's, like, way too many characters and too much that's, like, side plot kind of things, and I just don't care, and I don't like any of these people, and I'm just reading it to, like, finish it at this point, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. It's just taking me so long that, like, not a fan. yeah, I'm gonna be unhauling this when I finish it because I don't like it. It's probably gonna be 2 stars because it's not like the worst horrific thing in the world. It's just I don't think it's very good. And I don't know necessarily that the translation is very good. Obviously I can't say that for sure because I can't read the original Swedish version, but like some of it reads weird. Like the writing style reads kind of odd at times, and some of the word choice is odd and like in a way that like impacts the story, and I wonder how much of that is Camilla Lackberg and how much is the translation, which like I don't know, you know, like it's one of those things like I'm never gonna know because I'm never gonna read the original Swedish to compare them. But yeah, the English version I don't think is very good. For once I'm actually reading, which is fabulous. Finished The Ice Princess. I think that's what it was called. Not good. It's over. So then I read Girl at War, which like 4 stars, fabulous. This is about a Croatian girl in 91 during the Yugoslavian Civil War. I don't know if using those countries in those like terms and specific situations is the correct thing to do. This book kind of made me realize the totality of my ignorance on that subject. So, I literally had to use Wikipedia to look up like certain events and certain groups and just like general concepts of what was happening because I had no idea of like the setting of this book and like not even like a basic idea, because usually you can get by with like just a little bit of basic understanding, and reading this I was just like, I have no idea what's going on or what this means or who these different groups are or even what countries were formed from the Civil War. So I was just like, wow. So I've looked up a few other books about the Yugoslavian Civil War to potentially educate myself because that was kind of astounding. But this was a great book, like just really, really good. It's really heartbreaking, but like so good. And I'm currently reading Falling Leaves by Adeline Yenma. I'm decently into this, more than halfway. This is also sad, but I don't love it. I feel bad because it's like really sad in the sense of like her parents were horrifically abusive to her and also her siblings, but like I think she kind of got the brunt of it maybe. And it's like really sad, and she goes into detail of all the things she did, and it's like genuinely heartbreaking, but at the same time I don't like the way it's written. It feels like it's all written in like summary form. Like if you read a nonfiction book about a family and like it's about like the author, like it's their memoir, but it kind of starts like a chapter or two about like their parents or grandparents to set it up, and that chapter or two tends to feel like kind of like summary introduction, like you know this information's important but you're not super interested in it. That's kind of the way this whole book feels. Like it's just like this kind of dry summary introduction thing where I'm like waiting to get to the good story, you know? Like I just don't like the way she's writing, the way she's telling the story, like her writing style, but also just like the structure of it. It's like the actual story she's telling is very sad and heartbreaking, but like I'm kind of struggling to care a bit, which like I mean it makes me very sad, but in like a kind of disconnected way where I can objectively be like, that's a very sad situation, I'm sorry you went through that, but also it doesn't super affect me and I don't really care, which like when I'm reading a book I want to feel affected. So I don't, it's not bad, like it's just that like I do feel very disconnected from it as a reader. So I think this is probably going to be like 3 stars though. Like it's not great, but like it's passable. I will probably unhaul it and probably never think about it again. But honestly, the thing I enjoy most about this, which is like not the focus of this book, is like the Chinese culture that she discusses. And it's like not about that. It's about like her family and the abuse she experienced. Like that's the point of the story. But like I'm more interested when she like gets into Chinese culture because she includes like traditional sayings, and she'll include like the actual Chinese and what it translates to and what it means, and like her grandfather's beliefs, because he was very Buddhist. What's the word I'm looking for? Devout. That was the word. And like she talks about things like culturally and like what standards are and what norms are and like how they affected her life, and like that I find a whole lot more interesting than like her personal family story, even though it's like horrifically sad. And I think it's just like the writing that I don't really enjoy, that I'm struggling to connect with it. And this isn't translated, I think. I'm 90% sure this isn't translated. I think I checked that earlier because I was wondering. No, it's not translated. Because sometimes that does lead to like a weird thing. But it's just like, I don't connect with it. And when I don't connect with it, I find it hard to care. And I find myself feeling very distant from like the people and the emotions when I don't want distance. So yeah, but it's not bad. Like it's okay. It's just like, after reading Girl at War, which like took my breath away, and then reading this, I was kind of like, oh, it sounded so good, and it's just like kind of not. So I've been reading decently well lately, which I feel like is a good sign. Not like super fast, like I haven't been binge reading a lot of stuff, but I've been reading regularly, like spending like 3 days per book and then like going on to the next one, and like not having a lot of like sitting down reading a book in a day, but also not having a lot of like reading nothing at all for an entire week, which is kind of where I like to be. Binge reading on occasion is fun, but I've been in such a bad loop of just like constant binge reading and then like 3 straight weeks of nothing that like a little bit of consistency feels so good right now. I've been picking pretty good books too. I haven't been vlogging all of them because I've just been like tired, lots of work, lots of dog sitting the past week, which I will be doing for another week. It's spring break, so I was in high demand. I dog sit on the side, which is fun. Like hanging out with the little puppies, or big puppies, as they are currently. I'm right now reading 3 Hours in Paris by Alex Black. I don't think that's right. Cara Black. This is one of the arcs I picked up when I used to work in the bookstore. I don't really like it. I don't think it's necessarily that bad, but it's very like spy drama, heavy on the drama. It's not realistic, like at all. And I get that it's fiction and like whatever, but like I like for the books I read to feel real. And even if they're like sci-fi or fantasy, to feel like the people in them are making like justified, realistic decisions for their world. And this is just like way over the top, way dramatized. Like this clearly never happened. Like, I don't know. I don't really like it. I just don't buy into the story or the characters at all. And it's just like, if people like super over the top, like melodrama spy thrillers, like this would probably be a little better. But so far it's just like nothing really happens either. Like I'm decently in. And like so far all she's done is like she took 3 shots at Hitler from a rifle, missed, and now she's just been like a couple days, like a day or two, and she's been on the run from like his agents in France. Like that's it. That's all that's happened. Don't love it. But because I am dog sitting, I picked another book to read tonight. If I finish that one, which like at this point, maybe a little bit unrealistic, but you know, which is somewhat limiting because they're kind of big dogs that can kind of get everywhere, and one of them's a little bit wild. So I was like, I don't want to take a book that I would be like really sad if it got damaged, you know? Like, not like ruined, but just like if he grabbed it and like threw it or something, or like stepped on it with a muddy paw. Like, I wanted to pick something that's already a little damaged, and no thrillers because I get a little paranoid when I'm alone in an unfamiliar place, or a familiar place. Just when I'm alone and it's like night, I get a little paranoid. So I picked The Color of Our Sky, which I just hauled. This is set in India. It's about like 2 young girls. One of them is from a lower caste, and she's gonna be like a temple prostitute, and then she becomes a maid for a rich family instead, and then she disappears one day. And like 10 years later, the other girl has moved to America, and she decides to like go looking for like her friend and find out what happened, which sounds like really, really interesting. I wanted to read another one actually. I was kind of vibing, but it was the Indian one about like the 2 girls who died or got murdered, and I was like, that's maybe a little bit too dark for like being alone in a house, but I've got 2 big dogs to protect me, so it works out. But this does sound just like really, really fascinating. And that's my update for today. So I've been reading A Coal Miner's Bride. I forget who this is by. I'll include it in the description. This is so sad. Like, it's another one of my historical fiction middle grade diaries that I love, and they're all like sad to some degree for the most part. Most of them are not about happy times in history or happy people in those times. And this is about a 13-year-old Polish girl who winds up marrying this guy who has 3 kids already, and then he dies, so she's just a 13-year-old widow with 3 children, and it's just like the saddest thing. And it's not even like that sad of a book. Like, there are sad things, but it's mostly about like just her and like the unions at the time and like interesting things. It's just like reading it as a child, I just remember being like, oh, okay, yeah, like, can't imagine getting married at my age, that's wild. Reading it as an adult, it's like so horrifying, but like so good. This was a good one. I mean, like, they're all good, but this one was like a memorable one, so thrilled that I read that. And now I am starting Rodham by Curtis Sittenfeld, which is basically a what if Hillary never married Bill Clinton. Yeah, I don't know if that's like gonna be terrible or gonna be great, so I'm excited for this, mainly because I really loved Curtis Sittenfeld's other book, or one of her other books, American Wife, which was loosely inspired, heavily inspired by Laura Bush's life, and it was really well done, really interesting. And yeah, looking forward to this. Still like a little bit concerned about like this being based on a real person. In this case, it literally is about a real person, and then taking liberties with her life. I don't know, that kind of, it doesn't feel wrong, but it feels weird, and it makes me kind of uncomfy. But her writing is so great, and like her characters are so well done, and it's all so vivid and fantastic that like I'm gonna read it anyway, and I kind of think I'm gonna love it just because I loved American Wife so much. And I own like 3 of her other books, so I'm gonna be really sad if I don't love this, because I kind of bought a bunch of her books banking on the fact that I loved her. I've been doing pretty good with my reading. I read Sold on a Monday by Kristina McMorris, which was disappointing. And then I read Rodham by Curtis Sittenfeld, which was more disappointing. Yay. And now I'm reading The Surgeon by Tess Gerritsen. I was 5 books behind on my Goodreads goal, which is 100 for the year. I just like got caught up in Goodreads and said it. I thought I was way further behind, because when I first updated it, it was like, you're like 12 books behind, and I was like, oh my god, really? Like this early? And then it just took a minute to catch up to all the books I just put in. So I was 5 books behind. Now I think I'm 3 books behind. It would be nice if I could like catch up by the end of the month, just to like be on par, you know. But that's kind of my goal. I'm reading this. I'm not really far enough in to say anything. I don't like it so far, but like it's a rare thriller that I enjoy from page 1, especially like this is the first in a series, so it's like setting up the characters and the situation and all that before it like jumps into like the case itself. This is the first in the Rizzoli and Isles series, which is what the TV show is based on, and I love the show. I watched all the show. I love cop shows. This, I've heard good things about this book. My expectations are not that high, so if I don't like it, I'm not going to be crushed. There's a reason I just bought the first one, so hopefully it's good though. I have 647 books on my unread TBR, like, that I own. I own 647 books that I haven't read yet, which is a problem. I want to get it under 600 by the end of the year, which is doable. It just means like working at it, because I will read that many books. It's just like they can't be rereads, they can't be from the library, and I can't buy many more books, most of what I read is going to have to come from my shelves, and I'm going to not have to buy anything more. So, or well, like, I could buy a few things, but not the way I usually buy books. So that's gonna be interesting. I would like to eventually get it under 500. That's my goal. I like having a lot, but more than 500 is kind of like excessive, I feel like. Because it's like, I buy these books because I want to read them, and they sit on my shelves not getting read for years and years and years, which is just irrational. So that's my goal. It's also bugging me how disorganized my shelves are. Like, there are series that aren't together, there are authors whose books are just all over. I've got a million Ellen Emerson White books, and they're just on like 12 different shelves, like, and like different bookcases, and like it's ridiculous, and it really bothers me. And I want to like get everything nice and organized and all put together, but also I'm planning to move this summer, so it doesn't really make sense for me to spend like an entire day off organizing all my books when like in 3 months I'm just gonna be putting them in boxes and taking them to a new location anyway. So like, I'm kind of trying to just live with it at this point. We'll see. I do want to organize them, but it's like, do I want to waste one of my precious days off from work reorganizing books and making them pretty, and like that will make me feel good, yes, but then I'm just going to be boxing them up this summer anyways, and I'll have to reorganize them then, and it's like, why bother? But I might do it anyway. Or I might do like, not like a full reorganization, but like try to make them prettier maybe. I should just leave them. Just tell me I need to leave them. Like, that's what I need to do, because they're functional as they are right now. I can find things. They're just not pretty and happy making. But yeah, I just wanted to give a brief update on my reading. I'm reading a lot. That's good. I'm keeping up with my 2 videos a week, which is good. Yeah. I think the next step is to actually participate in booktube, like respond to my comments in a timely manner, and like above all else, actually watch other people's videos, because I've not been doing great at that. And I'm going to film a review video. I was planning to today, but then today kind of got away from me, and it's looking like it's not going to happen. Maybe Thursday or tomorrow. Today's Tuesday. I'm off Thursday, and tomorrow I don't go in until like 1 p.m. almost, which is absurd and annoying, but like, because I normally work at like 7 a.m. and I wake up at like 5 because my cat's annoying and like demands to be fed, I wake up early anyway, so like theoretically I'd have time to like wake up, get everything ready, and then film tomorrow morning, and then like, we'll see. But I'm planning to do a book review, and it's making me nervous because I haven't filmed a book review in so many years, but it would be really good to, because like, those are the kind of videos I enjoy the most and that like mean the most to me. So I do need to get in the habit of like getting back into the reason I'm doing booktubing stuff. So yeah, yay, fun. Lots of things going on, and I'm actually being a little bit consistent almost for once. So I just finished The Surgeon, the first book in Tess Gerritsen's Rizzoli and Isles series, which is the series that, I'm rocking and Spling's playing. The Rizzoli and Isles TV show was based on this series, and I liked it. I like cop shows. This is a good book. Solid decision on my part not reading this while I was dog sitting, because that would have been too much. I would have scared myself quite a bit. This is a creepy book. Very creepy. Yeah, it's really dark. I liked it. I don't know, I give it 3 stars. Like, it's one of those books where like, I really liked it. I don't know how much I'd recommend it. I do want to continue this series, and I'm like kind of reserving my judgment on this series, because it's like, this was good but not great, like worth the read. I'm probably gonna unhaul it and never think about it again, but I want to like continue on the next couple of books in the series and see if I like them, especially because Maura Isles, who's the coroner, she's like half of the Rizzoli and Isles duo. She wasn't even a character in this, because I don't know, this book didn't really feel like it was intended to be a series when it was first written, which is fine, and honestly not that surprising. So like, I don't know, it was good, but I'm hoping the series gets better. we'll see, but I'm like, I checked out the next book from the library, which, like, I know I literally just said in my last clip that I needed to buckle down, but, like, this is continuing a series, so it feels okay. And it's better than me just going out and buying the book, which was my other thought. I had to get, like, a large print copy, though, so I don't really do well with reading large print, but we'll see. I would like to continue on, like, maybe read the next 2 or 3 books just to see if I like the series, and if I don't, then I can be like, okay, failed experiment, that's fine. Still like the show, but yeah, I don't know, this one was worth the read, and yeah, I was kind of in the mood for a thriller. I still kind of am in the mood for a thriller, so I might pick up like a Lisa Gardner book or something that I have, just because, like, everyone in that book was so dark and so unlikable and just, like, the most garbage human beings, and it was great. Like, I liked it. Kitties. Yeah. Today is my day off, and I couldn't go anywhere because of maintenance stuff. But I basically just, like, did booktube stuff all day. I edited a video, I got one posted, and I read a book. Some Girls Are by Courtney Summers. I love Courtney Summers. I've talked about her before frequently. She wrote All the Rage, which I loved, and then she wrote Sadie, which I loved, and then she had another book. I forget what it's called. I also love that. So, like, I love her, and I was like, I have had so many disappointing books so far this year that I deserve to read something good that I won't be disappointed by. And guess what? It's disappointing. I'm just, like, soul crushingly tired of it at this point. And it's like, none of the books I've read, well, I'm not gonna say none of them, they aren't all, like, bad. You know, like, this is not a bad book. I gave this 4 stars. Like, I enjoyed it. I read it in one sitting, but, like, it's still disappointing, and it makes me sad. Like, I wanted to love this just wholeheartedly, and she's an amazing writer, and, like, the writing in this was amazing, but, like, good writing only goes so far to save a nothing story, and this was kind of nothing. So, I don't know, unfortunate. But, her writing is still really, really good. I think she's an amazing writer. So, yeah, I'm sad now. So, I'm not going to read something I have high hopes for. I am going to read Alone by Lisa Gardner, which is another cop thriller. I find Lisa Gardner books generally mediocre. Sometimes on the good side of mediocre, sometimes on the bad side of mediocre, but, like, usually around mediocre. So, I don't have high expectations. I will probably be decently entertained by this and probably give it, like, 2 or 3 stars. But it's not going to disappoint me. So, this is what I'm going with. I finished Alone, and I swear I've never had anything go in the unhaul pile so fast. That was not a good one. Not disappointing, though, so there's that. Kind of pleased, because that was exactly what I expected it to be. Like, maybe a tiny bit worse in some aspects. The story was very questionable. It basically centered around whether this woman orchestrated her husband's death by manipulating him into trying to kill her. And I was like, that's, not really how that works. Maybe don't pull a gun on your wife. Like, that doesn't seem like a difficult ask regardless of what she's saying. Yeah, but I do like Lisa Gardner's writing style. It's always just, like, super engaging, and even if, like, the stories are kind of iffy, I'm so picky about thrillers anyway that, like, for a good engaging writing style, I'll put up with it. I don't care. It makes me happy. That book is not one I'd recommend, though, unless you're, like, into reading every Lisa Gardner book. Like, if you read her and you're like, oh yeah, I do like this writing style, like, go ahead, read all her books, like, it's whatever. But yeah, that one wasn't, just story-wise, it wasn't great, but, like, writing-wise, great. Also, that was apparently the first D.D. Warren book, which I think is, like, her longest-running series, which I didn't know going in, so that was interesting, because, like, I do like the D.D. Warren series. D.D. Warren, she's a detective, a Boston detective, and basically just like she investigates crimes like any other cop thriller series. But it was not a great introduction of her. It was more about this other dude, and I don't like any of his books. I forget his name. It's Bobby something. Bobby Dodge. He has a few books, not that many, like 3 or 4 maybe. And I don't like him as a character, so I don't tend to like his books. But again, writing style, great, so it's fine. And I'm tempting fate here. After all, like, all the books I was, oh my god, they're like fighting or playing or so. I can't tell the difference between the kitties fighting and playing. They seem happy-ish at times. Tempting fate, with all the books I was so looking forward to and have disappointed me this month, I decided to go ahead and pick up Dopesick by Beth Macy, which I want to love. I want to really enjoy this. My father likes this book, and he really likes the author, which is one of the reasons I picked it up. And the other one is that I want to watch the the Hulu series, ? Documentary. I don't know what it is. The thing on Hulu that's based on this called Dopesick. I want to watch that, and I wanted to read the book first. So I'm a little bit in. So far it's good. It's like a lot about the history at the moment, and it's like interesting. A lot of things I didn't know about like soldiers in the Civil War who were addicted to morphine, opium, something. I've already forgotten. I'm not good at like details of historical things, but I get like the general idea and concepts, and that's like good enough for me. But I do enjoy this. I'm only like a little bit in, like a chapter or two, and I'm off tomorrow, so I'm planning to read a lot more of this. And I don't know, it seems good so far, so I am really enjoying it. I did go ahead and finish Dopesick, which 4 stars. It was really well done. Like, it was just one of those books that was just a really well done book. It was very, very drug negative, like a little bit too much for me, and I struggled a little bit with it, just like, and she went on at points about like prescribing kids Adderall and that being the reason they got addicted, and there's definitely an overprescription problem, but I think for how much of this book was discussing doctors prescribing drugs, I think there needed to be more discussion on like people whose lives are improved by the drugs that they're prescribed, like people who use them to function and like have better quality of life because of it. And it was kind of like 2 or 3 sentences in this book was devoted to that, and the rest was just drugs are bad, you know? And I don't know, I think you can talk about like overprescription being a huge problem while at the same time discussing like the fact that these drugs do good things for some people. And I don't know, I don't think that was like handled the best, but it was still like a really good book, really well researched, really great stories of the people that she met, and I highly recommend. Like, it's just good. Like, it was really, really good. Splaine's playing with her toy, because as soon as I sit down to film, she's like, oh, it's toy time. Like, she hasn't just been in here 20 minutes with me not playing with the toy. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the vlog after this clip, just because it's been like 2 months of vlogging. Yeah, all of like March and all of April. Very meandering vlog, which I'm not thrilled with, but it's the vlog. It turns out I'm not gonna get the sequel, the second book in the Rizzoli Isles series from the library, because after I put it on hold for a transfer to the library closest to me, I got a lovely little email from them that was like, hey, actually, we couldn't find this book, so sorry. Which, not their fault, you know? Like, it happens. It does, like, bum me out, because I really didn't want to, like, pay for it. Like, because I don't know if I like the series yet. Like, my feelings on the series are not certain. So I kind of wanted to read the next, like, book or 2 from the library to see if, like, it got better and it got into something that I really wanted to read. And I don't know. I'm gonna have to pay for it if I want to read it. So I put it on the list of books to buy because I have a list that I've been like curating, but I'm also like trying actively to not buy anything, so I don't know when I'm gonna get to that book. So it's kind of disappointing, but we'll see. We'll see. At some point, whenever I do my next book buying spree, that book's probably gonna be in there. Yeah, I read a couple other books after I finished Dopesick, but I don't really feel like talking about them here because like I finished them. Neither of them were particularly good, so like why waste breath? There's still like 5 days left in April. Yeah, 5 days. So I can feasibly get through another book or two this month. And I think that would get me caught up on my Goodreads goal, which, like, yay. I think I'm one book behind now after finishing my last book, which is really good progress, I think. So I've also been, like, pleased with what I'm reading. But I just feel like it's been a really good reading month. Like, I've gotten through a lot of interesting things. Things are going well. I'm still keeping up with my 2 videos a week. I still haven't quite gotten into like watching other people's videos a lot. Like I've done it a few times, but not that much, and I'm still like very delayed when I respond to comments. But it's slow improvement. I'm trying to film. Okay, I need to go because Splain is like it's playtime, and it can't be both playtime and filming time. So thank y'all so much for watching. I'm going to hopefully have a more interesting vlog the next time. Maybe something with a point or a purpose, or at least the time frame that doesn't just go on forever into nothingness. But thank you for watching. Leave a comment down below if you have anything to say, and I will see y'all again soon.